Hey, what's up, folks? Everybody, I'm Pedro has Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to... Hello, everybody, hanging out in the Discord chat room. If you'd like to join us during the show, you can use the Discord chat room to say what's up, send some GIFs, some GIFs, some memes, all that's fair game. We'll take a moment to welcome everybody to the show. And the reminder to get the URL to go to the Discord server, it's discord.gg/Adafruit.
Good morning to everybody hanging out all over the world. Good morning, That Train Kid. Good morning, Dew Wester, DJ Devin, Mark
Hello.
Gambler. Good morning.
Thanks
Good
for joining
afternoon.
us. All right, we'll start off with free, adafruit.com/free. We can see all the different deals that are going on. For orders that are $149 or more, you get the half-size Bird Proto plus a KB2040. That's a great little dev board for making keyboarding from UPS and US Continental only. And then the top tier at $299, you get the half-size Bird Proto, the KB2040, the free ground shipping from UPS Continental US only, and a Circuit Playground Express. That's that lovely all-in-one dev board with NeoPixel sensors, buttons, cap touch, CircuitPython, Arduino, CS circuits, and anywho, go to adafruit.com/free for the deets. Heading on over to the jobs board, there's Adabot putting up the help wanted sign. Folks look for jobs, and jobs are here. So go to jobs.adafruit.com. So far, I'm seeing one, a hardware engineer, potential for full-time CTO at Bright Smart Rings in the Chicago, Illinois area. And that's a part-time gig right now. So check it out. If you are in the market for a gig, a job, jobs.adafruit.com is there for you, and it'll stay there for you. All right. What's next? Giving shout outs to the newsletter. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, this goes out once a week. It has stuff from the from the shop that get added on the weekly, the Adafruit Daily shop. Adafruit Daily. What am I talking about? the newsletter is once a week. Go to adafruit.com/newsletter for that. Next up, Adafruit Daily. This is the one I was talking about. Adafruitdaily.com is a standalone website. You can subscribe to many different categories, such as 3D printing, biohacking, hacker news, right, and Python on microcontrollers. Their stories, and get your stuff out there. Thanks to all 9,000 of you folks that have subscribed. It's one of our favorite newsletters. Also want to give a shout out to Paul Cutler for doing up the CircuitPython Show podcast. Catch up on previous episodes on any of the fine podcasting apps and services. So check it out. Just search for the CircuitPython Show podcast. All right, we're going to switch gears back over to the Discord chat room.
Good morning.
Brothers
Good
don't
evening.
shake hands. Where is
Good
that
afternoon. I don't know.
Is that
Oh, so people are having buffering issues. I don't see it on my
Sorry,
end.
folks. I'm on Studio 2, so we should be good.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sorry. It's a short one this week, folks.
Yeah.
We have
Paul
fun.
Eric is very relevant to this week's project. Paul Eric saying that he just got his Creality CR Scan Lizard. He's going to shrink his head.
Sweet.
That's exactly what we did this week. He's going to, I guess, do some cool little action figure models.
All right.
Yeah, so...
Let's do a little breakdown. Do you remember 2012, Paige, when we first got into 3D printing? There was this wonderful thing called 123D Capture, and it was a cool way to capture 3D scans with just photos, taking several photos, and the app turns it into a 3D model. Here we are 8 years later, and we decided to try it out again.
Yeah, so PT came up with this idea last minute. There was an announcement from Hasbro.
Yes, Hasbro
Toys.
and Formlabs are partnering up to make it so that folks can take photos of themselves and get a 3D printed head and kind of added to one of the figures that they're offering. So they have a mix of things. I think it's still yet to be released.
I think they said by the end of the month they were going to release. I didn't sign up. I don't know how you're going to get your pictures. I don't know what the process is.
Maybe they're figuring that out. But we want to let you know that's where we got inspired from. Hasbro and Formlabs doing something that nobody's done before. Like they're coming out with different pigments and all that. Very, very cool stuff. So we figured we can do this right now with the free CAD apps, or there's some CAD 3D scanning apps out there available for the mobile devices, we figured we'd give them a try. We tried a couple of them, and Pedro, you came up with some cool things. We scanned a couple of different people. We got yourself scanned. So I scanned you scanned me, and then you scanned Brandy, your lovely wife.
Tried scanning the kids, but it doesn't work when the kid's fidgety.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to be super still, like an
have
adult
lots of
who can
patience.
focus. Yes, it does take about 50 photos to take. We did try using, for the longest time, PT has been wanting to do this project for a while now, I think over like a year,
Sure.
where I've been trying like all the apps, and one of the things I always constantly try is the LiDAR functionality of it. So using like the dot matrix little display that iPhones use to unlock your
sensor.
phone. Yeah, so when it's scanning your face.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds great in theory. That'd be a better way than photos.
Yeah, so every time I've tried that, it comes out like garbage, and it appears that Apple's not looking for like a beautiful, pristine scan. What they're looking for is just like little dots and positioning data that's on your face. So they don't really care about a clean, high-resolution scan. And every time I would try that, that's why I didn't do the project, because it always looked like junk.
Yeah.
Every time I'd import it into the CAD program to try to fix it up, it was just no way. It was way too dodgy in terms of
too noisy.
Too
Well, we have some examples that we could share.
Mm-hmm.
But we found the photo telemetry, the photo, taking a series of photos and having the app kind of generate a mesh with those photos is the way to go for our examples.
It's such a tongue twister. Photogrammy.
Photogrammy? Sounds
Yeah. Fun. So that's the procedure that Hasbro is going to be using, and PT has been doing his own tests and scanning statues and rooms, and the app that he was using was called Trino, which does do. They don't use the LiDAR, the scanning. They use just photos to create all the topography and the geometry. It is the best way, as we found, because when we're taking a scan with like LiDAR, any slight movement will completely change what the model and the mesh it's creating.
Dust in the air or something?
Yeah, no, just when you're changing angles, because you got to get like the top of your head, like all the underneath, like your chin, so all that geometry is created. By you just moving around your object, it'll sort of shift the way that the mesh is being created, and that is what's creating all the garbage that I'm not able to use for 3D printing any of this. So using the photos of taking at least like 50 photos and having it processed on what we're using is Polycam. We're using the photo mode. They do have a LiDAR scan mode, and we'll show you some comparison shots of what that looks like compared to just plain old photos. So this would work with anything. Any phone. You can upload drone camera footage. You can upload DSLR footage.
Any photos.
Yeah, any photos. So it doesn't need to be the app. It's just your whatever photo taking program you're using, and that's what it's using to upload it. They do have a trial, so this is like $3, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty dang cheap for having a service that does such a high quality of processing and creating your 3D mesh for that.
Okay.
And that's what we use, just photogrammy, and that's what. Look at this. This looks just like you.
Well, it is me. Well, it's me. Yeah, so let's talk about the figures. Where did you get these figures, and how did you get the...
I mean, you could use any figures. Some of the ball sockets that we were showing in the video, we're just measuring how that is so you can adjust our geometry that we provide that you can edit and just create your own ball sockets. I think that's what the main part of this...
this is George Lucas over here.
Yeah.
This is his original head. So he was easy to take off. Most of these kind of things have these ball sockets.
Yeah. And one of the cool things is that when you go in and you can fix things that is wrong with the toy, like you can see the scaling here. His head's like way too small for this huge body. You
think so?
Yeah. You were talking about how easy it was to remove. Sometimes they are a little difficult. I did have to use some skate lubricant on the inside. You can kind of see the shininess in there just to make it easier to pop off, because I thought it was going to break it at the stem here.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, but that's one way you can easily remove the heads from your toys.
All right, so keeping that ball socket there is kind of important if you want articulation and you want to be able to kind of move it a bit. That's cool. And you can look up and down, left and right, and that's the kind of articulation you get with a ball socket. boy, these they should be standardized, but they're not. Sorry.
No, they're actually different sizes.
They're actually different. So
just slightly
this
different.
Is Star Wars. There's not real name associated to the
This
style
one
of
is
toy.
Yeah, this one's like the George Lucas one. Sorry for any collectors out there. I totally ripped
he's
apart
so
the
good.
box. And
This is from
this part.
this is from Marvel. This is Thor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a new series called Build a Figure. They literally call it on the box Build a Figure, and they design the parts to be swappable. So arms, accessories like the weapons, and then it actually came with another body part, which was very odd.
Yeah, so all of the build a figure
Groot came
series.
with half a body with missing limbs. It's like, what is that? But
Yeah.
I guess they want you to buy this version of the character Korg so that you can get more features of maybe Groot. We don't know, but we were...
No, it's more sinister than that. You have to buy all of their action figures to get all of the the parts for.
But they're phenomenal detailed things. These are Korg's body.
What I like is
articulation.
that is built for building. So
Right,
all
it's
of
built
these
to be detachable. So
Exactly,
all of these
yeah.
ball sockets are different, but look at the articulation you get in the neck, for example. You have like these extra. You can see those notches there that kind of keep it in spots. So they're really, really nice and kind of modular. So shout out to the Build a Figure series from Marvel. Yeah. So that's a little bit of background on the particular figures themselves. They're really good, high quality figures.
Yeah, so much so that it
we couldn't
inspired me to,
find
for
them.
my head. Yeah, these are exclusive to Disney. We went to Target and Walmart. And they don't have any of these characters. I'm guessing they have
shop
the
that
license.
Disney. Could you buy them there?
You definitely could get them
Cool.
from there.
All right, so it's got a thing, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
you can. I think there's like discount codes on there to get a little bit of a kickback on that.
All right, so there's that. And
So
then,
it's so detailed. Let me finish my point on that.
Sure.
Nice and detailed that it inspired us for my figurehead to add the detail that is on Groot's body,
the green.
namely the moss for the green. So I incorporated that into my beard and my head, making it look like there's a leaf growing out of there. And this is printed in wood filament.
Real wood.
Yeah. So
Composite wood. PLA wood.
yeah. So it's
Oh, they're
excellent.
much smaller.
Oh yeah, check out the ball
boy, I
socket on
haven't
that.
even looked at it,
So
yeah.
all of them are completely different sizes. We do provide all three of these sizes that you can go ahead and tweak. You'll have to tweak them a little bit more too if you're using something like Ninjaflex, which we didn't even talk. Well, I guess now we can talk about that. We're talking about the
almost there, yeah. So
material.
materials of the head. When you are transitioning from a PLA print to a Ninjaflex print, one of the things that changes is the tolerances. You have much more flexibility in, flexible filaments, but the PLA has got more rigid and much more sturdy material. So the tolerances in the diameter of the socket had to change. So you really want to pick what material you want and then go from there. So why would you want to print it in Ninjaflex versus PLA?
Yeah, so for Ninjaflex, one of the things I found is that it looked way better in terms of the printing of it, and because for play, it makes it a lot more safe for kids. So this
Squishy head.
Yeah, having a squishy head that is not going to break because you know how kids play, they're going to bang this on the ground.
So it's indestructible. You could run my head over it.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
not going to shatter.
You
That's
can
what's
do
really
the
great about Ninjaflex.
squishy head thing.
It tends to, oddly enough, take acrylic paint better than we found.
It
with
looks
PLA.
better, yeah. I don't have any of the ones where it's not. No, we didn't bring it.
That's fine.
It didn't look as good. The shininess that you're seeing on here did not come through in a PLA print. You can kind of see it here with the wooden one because it is PLA and wood, so you can kind of see how it is more matted. You would have to use a more glossy paint, but it was easier to get, for instance, your eyes in there because you can poke down into it because it's Ninjaflex. It flexes down inside and sort of fills in your whole pupils, which was a little bit difficult to do with the just PLA version of it.
No, we lucked out with the filament color because this filament is already brown.
Yeah.
We, back in a few days when we were tighter with fender drives, they made a whole line of kind of skin tones, and they were kind of marketing this towards like prosthetics. So they wanted different skin tones. So they had all these different colors and stuff. We stocked them for a good year or two, but this was many years ago.
We still have in stock. It's called Almond Smoothie, and that is what is the more like
Almond
peachy
peach
color.
smoothie.
So this is still in stock if you have, that complexion,
up in a
or if
sec.
you want to match. That's why I printed myself in more peach
it
color.
Matches, yeah, it matches the skin tone.
It definitely matches pretty close to the tone of these figures. So that was super cool having the Ninjaflex. That I think we're the only ones that still have any of the stock for that color.
I don't know if it's been
They stopped.
discontinued.
I think they discontinued it. Might have not been as
which
popular.
sucks, yeah, it's unfortunate. Rather.
Mm-hmm. But then we go pick some up. We have a couple of these for projects that come up just like this.
So there were some tips on printing Ninjaflex. Really, like cutting it right under the chin, I think, is the main important thing, because then you're avoiding support material.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want more of a neck, you can go that route, but you're going to need some support. But the neck is already in the figure, so we figured
that's pretty much
get
how
away with
they.
a little bit of like.
Yeah, I mean, here you can kind of see that is where they cut it off, and then
it's
you
got
have
a
an
beard
angular
going,
cut there, which I didn't go and do.
Yeah, you can see more of the neck in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's good.
And a properly scaled head.
Right.
Guess they ran out of time for scaling this.
Mm.
But super cool that the main conception for this project is definitely PT wanting to show that why wait to get your head scanned? You can go ahead and do this right now. Prices of printers, you can get a really good printer for like $100. The $3 to process your image. It's a free trial anyway, so you might be able to get away with scanning 1 or 2. I think the limit is like 150 scans a month, so that's quite a bit to get a nice scan in. And,
Good job on the paint and the print job.
Yeah, it was a little
Looks
tough
good.
to get that in there.
Any other print settings that you want to throw out there?
No, let's go ahead and go through it.
This isn't a...
That was for testing.
No. Oh, right, the eyes are funny, but what was I going to say about the layer height? Something about the layer height.
Oh, yeah, it's 100 microns.
100
so,
microns, so 0.1.
Again, super surprised that Ninjaflex was able to print at such a high resolution.
Here's the ugly side, right? You have some overhangs, but you can clean that up if you wanted to.
Yeah, it actually matches the hair, like how it's all like, when you zoom up a little bit closer. I don't think I can get that close, but
look at my ear.
You can see how stuff like that, like the texture of it starts looking like your hair, which is super cool.
Okay.
Trying to glance over at the chat room.
Yeah, any questions and stuff, tips and slice settings. Overview page just kind of talks about the project. Here are the 2 Ninjaflexes we still have in stock. That Almond Peach Smoothie, it's a 1.75 diameter filament, so it'll work with most 3D printers. It is Ninjaflex, so
you're gonna
need to print really slow, a little bit hot.
You're probably gonna want a direct drive as well. Okay. We linked to the apps that we're using here, Polycam, and for cleaning up the model, we're using Tinkercad. Yeah. Nice free web app for 3D design. Just reading here, electronics and coding.
Oh, yeah. You tried Blender.
That's what this was going to be all in Blender. But then when I got to creating the ball socket and having to fill in all that, I was like, this is way more than it needs to be. And I just tried out Tinkercad, and it was able to clean up the model, add all the ball joints, and make it editable. So I didn't have to save out a file for people to download. It's just literally a web link that you can edit yourself, and it just turns it into a derivative automatically, and you're inside a web browser just doing all of this, and it's super easy to use.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Blender's great. It's just that there was a lot more work involved. When you get your mesh out of Polycam,
that'll be for next week. Showing how to use Blender.
It's an there's zero thickness to it. It's not manifold at all.
Yeah.
So bringing it into Tinkercad automatically just makes it work. It just took you 20 minutes, 30 minutes of work, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Should I look at these websites? What's going on?
Oh, you can check out the Polycam website just to get an idea of what it's actually doing.
Google
Here's
Play and App Store and free on the web to try out. So you can just go ahead and try it out if you already have images.
Yeah,
this
so
is my
here's
first time looking at the website, so I don't know.
Yeah, so here's an example of what the LiDAR stuff we use for. Here's what we used here, the
photogrammetry. Grammetry.
And it's like a Thingiverse type, so you can upload models. There's a community, get models there for free too.
That's really
So
neat.
nice little place to check out for if you're doing like video game design. You can get some like textures or models that are ready to go.
Cool. So that's the website. Just a real quick look at it.
Yeah, and they've been out for a little bit too.
Should I
I already had
jump
the
right into
phone.
Tinkercad?
I already had the app on my phone. It's just the using the photo mode to do the scanning was the tip on that one.
Okay.
And
Looks
then,
like they have their own kind of learn help center.
Mhm.
So that's cool.
That's
Looking
pretty
at some
easy.
different ways and tips. I haven't looked at any of this, so I'm just kind of new to it. Do you want me to go to Tinkercad next?
Tinkercad will go into like when we get to the modeling section because we'll actually go
What's
in and
the
take a
next
look at the
page?
model. 3D Selfie had to actually take all these pictures. So one of the tips is sit in a chair, comfortable,
Sure, yeah.
stand
Sit in the
super
chair.
still. It's going to take at least 50 photos to generate a proper watertight mesh.
I took my glasses off because I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work.
That is another
I
important clue
took my hat off.
both
my
of
hat.
us had to take our glasses off. Make sure that you're not moving at all. I'll show you some examples of what slight movement will look like. It'll completely distort how the mesh is created. So comfortable chair, super still, at least 50 photos. And then the last tip, make sure you get the top of the head underneath the chin, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll have gaping holes there that'll be very difficult to close or time consuming if you could just take a photo. After that, it takes about 10 minutes after you upload all of the photos to Polycam. It's pretty quick.
Do you want to look at the phone?
Yeah, take a look at what the models look like.
Tinkercad.
Here's a Polycam loaded up on my phone. Here's what the project view looks like. And how we were saying before, quick example of what the LiDAR looks like, which you can quickly see when I was talking about earlier. Even if you adjust your angle of how you're scanning the object,
My nose is,
it will
jacked.
redo, because it's live while you're doing it, it's creating the mesh. And that seems to be the downfall of it, because if you've already created that nose mesh, you don't
Oh,
need to
that messed up.
recreate it up here. And it's just because the slight angle, because I was trying to get the top of your head, you know, bottom. So that is why LiDAR is just garbage for this.
It didn't work well.
Yeah, and I've
on
tried many
trials.
apps. I've tried multiple times. You know, this project has been meaning to be made for over a year now, and that's why I never went with it, because of how garbage it came out with the what I thought was like so cool in advance. It turns out it's just taking photos is what creates crisp. Look at this.
Yeah, seems like we're still
Very
in 2012
detailed.
where you do the exact same setup.
Yeah.
A
Although,
little bit better quality because the cameras
oh
are
yeah,
better. but-
yeah. Look, I mean, look at the detail on that.
Yeah.
It is super high quality. Like for
Gosh.
doing a video game, this is what a lot of people use it for
Yeah, video
character video game texturing, like all this stuff. There's depth map in here because you know the photos
Can
are
you
taken on a phone.
Can you look at the mesh without the texture here?
I don't
Think
believe so.
Where?
Yeah, I don't think you can. And there's an example of what all the photos look like.
Oh.
Every single side has your. I think they have like a little tutorial tells you like every 6 degrees, take a photo of everything, and to fill the frame as well, so you don't have like the room or the area that you are scanning being included in that. You just want the face, the head, all that. Here's an example of all that. And we were saying earlier, you have to be super still. This does not work on a 9-year-old.
Hour.
Our 9-year-old.
Maybe
This
your-
is what happens
your
when.
mileage may vary with your
Yeah.
9-year-old.
This is what happens when slight movement will completely.
Mm.
And then I had another example of what the LiDAR looks like. Scaniverse. Doesn't that look beautiful?
Alien Pedro. You look like an avatar. from the
Again,
movie Avatar.
it's just any of the dot matrix or the LiDAR type stuff.
Humanoid.
It's freaking garbage.
You know your ears like a part of your cheek.
Mm-hmm. I think, does this one let you
Wow.
do the? No. If you were to look at the mesh too, it's like a lump of clay with no detail in it.
So the other alternative is to use an actual 3D scanning device.
Yes,
like for an
dedicated
iPad.
for that. Yes.
We haven't played with one or got one.
Mhm.
So we're trying to do everything on the phone
Yeah,
here.
because a lot of
Thought
this
I'd
is
say
like
that.
one-off type stuff. We're not game developers. We're not doing this day in and day out. This is just for a quick
Yeah.
project here and there.
But it felt like in the early 2015 or 16, I kept seeing these iPad 3D scanners,
Mhm.
and I just haven't seen
Yeah, I mean they're
them
out there.
lately. They're out there, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what the type of quality you get with just regular photos, taking a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
I think we covered all the tips and sort of how to get that scan going. After that, like we were saying before, we imported the OBJ into Tinkercad, and then here is what that looks like. The link that we provide is not going to have our scanned head. It's going to have like a AdaBot head,
We'd
but
rather
it is
people not have access to our head.
But what you want to look at, if you click on that, select, I think it's Shift H to hide. Shift H to hide.
Command or Shift?
I think it's Shift.
Shift H.
Maybe it's Control.
Control H.
There you go. So that's what that's basically the geometry you want to use to edit. So it's for the ball socket. So you click on that, you should have your, I think you have to ungroup it.
Go ahead. I don't know how to use Tinkercad.
Yeah, you just ungroup it with this command up here, and then you can go in here and edit the sphere. That's going to be the ball socket joint for that. So that's pretty much it. You just measure it with a calipers. If you're using Ninjaflex, you want to be 1 millimeter smaller than what you measure with your calipers, and that'll give it the grip that you need. Because Ninjaflex is going to be a little bit more flexible, so you want it to be smaller. And then the hole, I don't know what this is, like that gap that is right along the neck that this gets inserted to. You just have to edit that as well. If it is a different or bigger or smaller size, you'll combine all these again. You show that, and then there you go. You just combine it, and it will give you a ready-to-go model. When it turns red, when it turns red, it means it's processing. Take a little bit.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
And then there you go. Here is your.
I'm glad you said that. I haven't used Tinkercad in, I don't know, a decade or so.
It took a little bit to
remember how to.
Because they have so many cool stuff now. You can like make Lego.
Not to say
figures.
it's like hard. It's super easy to learn. Just I haven't spent the 15 minutes or so sitting down to make it. What are you showing here?
You can take it right into Fusion if you want to get more complicated, and post it to your favorite sites. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm showing there. Just
can we look at the model before you chop my neck off? Like,
yeah,
look at the raw geometry that you got.
That looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
So F to focus. Let's go ahead and let's hide all these guys. It's a.
You said Control H.
It's a Shift H. No. There you go. Control H to hide, and this is what it imports.
Yeah. So a little bit of my. But look, if you were to import this into Blender or Fusion, you're going to get an open-ended geometry.
Yeah, all of this inside would be open.
As soon as you try to import any OBJ into Tinkercad, it's going to do the heavy lifting of automatically optimizing those open holes, so it fills it.
Yeah, so I, again, was originally going to do this all inside Blender, but it was just taking so long to close everything up and create the wider type mesh that you need for printing, and then getting the ball socket in there. I was trying to get all fancy and use the new CAD Sketcher plugin, so it kind of acts like Fusion, where you can create the sketches the constraints, and then the just the precision that you're going to need to get the ball socket inside there. It was just too much work to even close the model. Even combining the model with the boolean is what we're using here to chop that off. It wasn't even able to do it. Yeah. So I had to export a model outside of Blender, bring it back into Blender, and that's how I was able to chop it up. And that just, I don't like that type of workflow where you're exporting something and then importing it back in. It's not, I don't think that's good at all. So inside of Tinkercad, it does all of that for you. makes the guide writing easy for me since I just say import it into Tinkercad and it takes care of
Yeah, you don't
like
have to
10
install any
different
software
steps.
either. You just
Yeah,
go
you
to
don't
the
have to
website.
install anything. You don't have to go grab this other thing. You don't have to install Python for CAD Sketcher. You have to get the pip file for that. You don't have to get like the
You should
it's like,
already
oh,
have all
God.
that installed, Pedro. You should already have Python installed.
I mean,
With your homebrew. Come on.
Again, the target, we're going after
I'm joking.
is, the people that might get interested with the Hasbro thing. You get a $100 printer and be able to do all this on your own.
Duester's into Tinkercad. It says, love the raw figure like a feather and turn it into a hole when I make a container. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. You can see here too. That's just
This one
preview. You saw what the actual model came out. So,
I don't know
you
why
have,
I'm getting
missing,
some like
eye
John F.
punched in
Kennedy vibes or something.
Oh,
Like,
it
"Wait,
does,
it's time to
even-
go to the moon.
Yeah, even the
Not
the
because
final
it's
one.
easy, because it's hard. That's my JFK impression.
Yeah, so that's Tinkercad in a nutshell.
We did this project because it's
It was
easy
hard
and
at
hard.
first. And
Right.
it'd take a little bit.
getting the process down.
It's a
good.
week. Figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Any
Yeah,
other
that's the.
Tinkercad?
I think that's it. Yeah, you
Stuff?
export this as a OBJ.
You mean
If you
STL?
have, you can do actually, yeah,
Whatever.
STL might be better. But
But
so when you have 3 set up in your canvas, because say you want to do one in Ninjaflex, one in PLA, if you want to export one model, select the other ones, hide them, Control H, and then you can just export just this one
yeah.
to, like we were saying, STL OBJ. Oh, even SVG for laser cutting, yeah.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah, it'll just take like a flat image.
Did you have to orient my
slide.
head when you brought the mesh in from Polycam?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's
It looks
super
pretty
easy.
good
Yeah,
oriented.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it's super easy to orient. All the
Great.
tools are there.
Yeah.
Just pop up.
So
when you
clean.
click on stuff.
Clean
yeah,
interface.
yeah. You can do like increment, or if you scroll down here, it'll let you do
Okay.
the snap to.
Layer by layer on
Degrees.
Tinkercad's coming soon by Pedro.
I mean, I'm super happy that
Yeah.
AutoCAD was able to keep this open for the students.
Yeah,
They
I
have,
remember
like,
when,
the circuit
In
simulation.
2013, when they were about to go under, Tinkercad was
yeah.
like, "Hey, we can't pay for this anymore,"
This
and
is,
Autodesk just bought them and let them do whatever they wanted with it. I
Mhm.
think. I don't know anyone from the team, so
oh,
but
cool.
good job, Tinkercad folks.
So everything I just said is all explained here. How to
Okay.
get your turn it
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
hole,
All right.
draw the boundary box around.
Printing next and keep running it.
So after you've created that, in order here is where I'm measuring the ball joint, and this is where you can edit the size. Show that you want to edit the socket size, and then the
Recap.
neck area, and then recombine them, then combine it with the head. One thing I didn't talk about, aligning. You want to make sure that everything is aligned. There are align
neck,
tools
yeah.
up there. You can kind of see in the screenshot there. It's that blue highlighted tool there.
Yeah.
And that lets you allows you to align it to the center of the neck. And then if it's not centering because whatever something that's off symmetry, like with the head or something, like your hair is like on one side, you can nudge it into and like sort of eyeball where the center of the head is.
I would say, yeah. Okay.
All right, on to 3D printing. Here's where I have the link to edit the ball socket joint. And then slicing the parts for this, since we're using Ninjaflex, we're going to print a little bit harder at 230 degrees. Celsius, centigrade. The layer height to start off, initial layer height, because I'm using a PEI sheet, Ninjaflex loves sticking to that super well, so I'm using a 0.3 initial layer height, so higher, so it doesn't fuse to the PEI sheet.
Okay.
And then the layer height for that after that is going to be 0.1, so 100 microns for that to get that super high detail on your face.
Are you sure you want to print at 50?
That's for the
millimeters a second?
heated bed.
Oh, okay.
For
50 millimeters a second for printing speed.
this is a direct drive. I need to put that in there.
Right.
This would work for a Bowden if you're using the Semiflex, the
Cheetah?
Yeah, Cheetah.
Okay.
But again, for this, I wanted that ultimate squishiness, and we have a lot of, we only have that peach color in the 85A Ninjaflex, so
Okay.
that's what I had to use. And happy I used it because it turned out really well. If you're using PLA, you can still use that. Regular settings, just 100 microns to get that detail in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we already showed what that looks like.
Cool.
all the regular settings for that. You shouldn't need to use supports if you're able to chop off the head right at the neck, like we were saying.
Yeah.
But if you do need it for whatever reason, like your hair or something, I can add supports in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Moving on to printing the selfie, or painting the selfie, sorry.
Yeah.
You definitely want to print a couple of different like
Copies.
colors, copies of it, because it is going to be trial and error on what turns out to look good when painting. I'm using the dry brush technique here, which is you take your paint, you brush it onto something else to sort of get a lot of the paint out, so you have just a tiny bit of amount of paint that is dry on the brush, so you can get that and put that on the model to make it look like a texture. For the hair, is how we're using it there. You know, in real life, you can kind of see through your head, through the hair. You can see like the scalp, and that's what I'm doing there. So dry brushing that in. For the eyes, we use something, you know, like a toothpick. I used a needle actually because of how fine the detail is in their pupils.
One drop.
Yeah, one tiny little pin drop of their pupil.
And
then
techniques on PLA.
And then for the PLA here, it's mostly just talking about matching the textures on your face to whatever model, specifically like the Groot one. Yeah. I wanted to add that moss onto my beard and my hair. So again, using the dry brush technique to make it look like there's moss grown on myself. And then, of course, matching the color. This was the dark wood PLA from Hatchbox. Okay. Hatchbox. They have that darker. Good, and that's what matched the Groot super well.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it. Got a nice little, obviously the kids were loving playing with, you know, the family
Mom and
action.
Daddy.
Yeah, well, uncle too. Super funny. And one of the tear jerking things when we were at Disney Springs buying these, there was a daddy and daughter who, you know, were looking at the Thor toys. Yeah. And the daughter was like, "Daddy, a girl can't be king." And the dad, superhero, saying, "Yes, honey, a girl can be a king." And they got. And then they got I think they either sold out of all of the Mighty Thor, which is Natalie Portman, the girl Thor, or you know, they were looking at this, and that would have been such a perfect thing, you know, to pop off Thor's head, put the daughter's head on there, and be like, "Yeah, see, women can be Thor," because there's a whole freaking movie about it. So that was super, you know, coincidental and to hear, and good job on the dad telling, you know, daughter that you can be whatever action hero you want to be. So I think that's what the crux of this whole project was, to really envision yourself, and I think that's what Hasbro is doing too. Sort of have
they have their own story and backstory of why they were doing this.
Yep,
it was a big hit at one of the conventions. It was like a contest, and like everyone was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be their superhero, and being able to have your kids see you as that.
That was supposed to be like the holy grail, like the killer 3D printing app.
Yeah,
and like. Here we are, 2022.
Yeah, I mean, printers now. I mean, I think Creality is about to release a updated. It's the smaller version of what we have, the Smart Pro. It's like the S1 Ender, I think, and you know that the freaking quality. You can do 100 microns. You could probably do even higher quality. Not like the resin print that Formlabs is doing, but maybe close. I don't know. If you go in there and do like sanding and stuff like that, you can probably get to that level of detail. And of course, being able to, you know, not deal with any smells or any chemical that's going out from the resin printing, and have something that's nice and flexible that you can immediately start working with, is not going to be toxic, you know.
Sure.
Is a giant plus.
Yeah. Great for an educational space.
Yep. Super great for learning and the whole family. Sorry, George. I had to remove your head.
It's okay. We'll put him on something else.
Should put him on Groot.
Put him on Adabot. Here. Where, on Discord?
On the YouTube channel. Or Colin Thor told. You know, it's a really good idea with Thor or any of these guys. It's Amazon.
Okay. Wanda. There's like a price. There's like a list. I don't want to go in right now. Sorry.
Again, definitely look for those, because they looks like they were specifically designed to be pulled apart. Or any of the toys.
Tiny little.
In terms of engineering, it was definitely inspiring to see just how small you can make all of these pivot points and the articulation on the hands. How
Give me a
tiny
hand.
that
Give
is.
me a hand. Give me
And
a
that's
hand.
actually what gave me the idea to even use Ninjaflex, because they're using all these whatever, I don't know, PVC or whatever this flexible
it's
material is
fancy
called, resin or whatever it is that allows it to be so flexible. Like the hands, like this is not gonna break off,
Yeah.
especially for like kid play.
Look at Groot's. It has like this detail
Oh
on his
yeah,
head. Look at that.
I wanted to do that so bad, but I ran out of time.
Yeah.
Like having the extra little detail of leaves and stuff on there.
Quite different on the socket area.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So if you got yourself a resin printer, also give that a try. I know folks.
Yeah,
are out
I know
there
there
with
is
their
flexible material that is
textile
in
resin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how that would work well here. If it would work well.
Mm-hmm. That's so tiny. So cool.
Cool.
Ah, so
and
customizable.
if you're, in, check out Hasbro's thing too. If you really want to
Yeah,
get
we'll
like a
do a
high-end
test.
3D
We
scan.
should do a test to see how,
How well it is.
comparing the quality difference of it.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. That's this week's project.
Cool. Yeah. Check it out. It's on the Learn system.
There we go. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's. What are we prototyping?
Yeah, we got a fun IoT Servo project. All right, so we are prototyping a Servo project. So we got our analog feedback servo here. We're going to use a little Cutie Pie S2, so it's got Wi-Fi. And the enclosure is supposed to kind of be like a ship engine room telegram. This is one of those ways to let the crew down below the deck know how far we want to go, how fast we want to be going. So the idea here is that we'll have two displays, two of these, and then you'll have capacitive touch pads on the outside of the case. And it's kind of a way to kind of gauge either your mood or an emoji, somewhere you want to be, a location maybe. So that's kind of the idea, and it's supposed to be kind of like a two-way messaging system. Mm-hmm. So if you have somebody really close to you and you're from afar, having this is a kind of an interestation or something. But right now what I'm doing is I'm running a certain, the servo can go about 100 right now. So I got this kind of neat little enclosure, again inspired by an engine room telegram. Not much to the back right now. It's just kind of like a prototype, but they kind of snap fit together, and I have some screws in there for the base. But yeah, we got our Cutie Pie S2 there for doing the Wi-Fi, and it'll be kind of a Adafruit IO project.
Super
And
cool.
right now it's just running off the Feather M4.
Yeah, so this could be for like you want to get a message downstairs to the family, like, oh, food's ready, or I'm hungry, or
I didn't even think of that.
walking the dog, or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's sort of like a to-do or a
messaging
status,
way,
status of what's going on.
Right. And
Using IoT, of course. It's gonna be super
Adafruit IO.
dope to set up.
we'll have some cool graphics here, and of course some emojis here.
Yes.
And we'll kind of theme it out a little bit more. But right now it's just kind of like, let me get the servo going, and can I get equal amounts of space? You can see it's off a little bit. Like if you really look at it, it's kind of off, like right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's something
all
you can
servos
adjust.
are like that. Not really,
Oh
because
no,
like
in the print, or use vinyl. So you can.
no, I think it's fine. This is the way it's going to be, folks.
It looks good.
Yeah,
From this
I'm
angle.
using a real servo horn that comes with it, 'cause it's always hard to attach something to like the spline of the servo. So I always recommend using the stock servo horn and attaching your arrow or your horn, your hub to that existing thing here, because you're just not going to get any better tolerances.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also want to talk about the code real quick. So if you are a designer and you're like, look, I don't know how to do any demo code, I recommend checking out the CircuitPython Essentials guide by Kattni and other folks. Everything's broken out here to the thing. So if you want to do just servo demo code, go to the servo demo code. You have 3 different boards that show you how to wire it 3 different ways that is kind of the same. And then down here is the code. So if you want to do a standard servo code, there's the code you need. That's exactly what I'm running here. All you would want to change is your pin and play around with the timing and the degrees.
Beautiful.
And it's really great. Really quick way to get servo code. And when you use the project bundle, you get all the libraries, so you don't need to hunt down
Search
the library.
around. Yeah, that is the most.
Like I'm a designer. I just need to get this thing going.
I need to know what angle to go, not where is my library. Oh no, I'm out
it's
of
all
date.
there. It's
oh
great.
no,
Yeah, this
I'm
is
missing
fantastic.
a thing.
And of course, it's because of CircuitPython. It's going to run with any board. So any board that works with CircuitPython, so the NRF chipset, the M0s, the M4s, the RP2040s, all of those boards work with this code and these libraries, and that's like the beauty of CircuitPython. Let's say you have a continuous servo. There's a continuous servo code here. And if you want to do cap touch, you want to do MP3 audio out, regular audio out, buttons, LEDs, neopixels, it's all here in this essentials guide. I always refer back to the essentials guide whenever I'm starting a new project. I kind of forget how easy it is to code some stuff, but hey, that's why the essentials guide is there for you. So that's what we're prototyping, and a little bit of tips.
Awesome.
If you are new to programming and you want to get some demo code running for your build, check out
Sweet.
CircuitPython Essentials.
Dwester saying that, yeah, this is a telegraph.
Yeah, it's a telegraph from like a ship engine room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of a gauge as well. So maybe
then,
y'all can get inspired to make other servo-related projects.
And then Porix in the Discord is saying, giving some links on if you need to import it down to be able to upload it,
Nice.
like a derezzing it. And Dwester saying that, yeah, he's a Tinkercad guy himself, which is
Yeah,
like
it was the first CAD
Blender.
app I kind of learned.
You know, it wasn't, it's not solid modeling. It was just CAD came out, we're like, oh crap, you can actually bulls or whatever. What does that translate into?
Yeah. All right, we'll keep moving on. Shop talk. We got about 10 minutes. I'm wrapping up here.
Oops.
Sure. I just need a speaker. But yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
You might want to use the RP2040 board instead, though. If you don't want any of the Wi-Fi stuff, get an RP2040 board. I think you could do audio out. Or if you have an M4, it's even better. It has a better DAC for doing higher quality audio. You could also do I2S audio code here for the audio out and also MP3 audio out. So there's different ways to do it. You can play like a tone, or you can play a WAV file, and then of course an MP3 file. And there's all sorts of wiring things here for you to do a nice little audio project.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all there for you.
Sweet. And then real quick, Aaron also says, this thing reminds me of the Spaceballs scene. They're like, ludicrous speed.
I need to rewatch that. That's funny. I did not, I don't know. Cool.
All right, continuing on. I'll read the rest of the comments at the end of the show.
Shop talk. So there's some new CAD files. Check them out if you are into some of these parts. So let me switch over to what part I have. So some of the new parts that we added was the AT42QT. This is a really easy way to get capacity touch. It's basically a capacity touch button. You just wire to ground in
Nice.
voltage, and bam, it's a button that does capacity touch because all the circuitry is on the bottom of the board here. It comes with a surface mount LED for indication, but you could also turn that off. Just a little breakout. We were actually going to use this for this project, but it has native cap touch. The ESP32 boards have native cap touch, so you don't really need to use these cap touch boards, breakouts is what we call them. Switching over, but hey, it's there. It's kind of an older product, but it's got mounting holes, and
Sweet.
yeah, I was gonna use that. I was gonna have like an array of 4 of them, and yeah,
But it just works kind of natively.
yeah, we're just gonna use copper
Can
tape
we
that
do
has an adhesive.
the conductive PLA filament that we got?
I don't want to.
You want to try?
Nah,
It is more difficult because you gotta.
this ruined my nozzle, and this is that, and this is not really
This
that good.
The nozzle
this
we
is
have.
why people don't use it.
And we have the wear resistant, but no, it will be more difficult in terms of getting the model and like fitting it in. Yeah,
We
it's
like
just
actually
more work.
sell copper tape. It's self-adhesive, and you
No,
can
we got
pattern
the-
it however you want.
We got the conductive, but that's more. It's way easier to
Yeah.
do the
I
tape.
was gonna do
Yeah.
a PLA, conductive PLA, but like
Yeah.
I said,
It's easier
tape
to do
is way
that.
easier,
Yeah.
and it gives you more kind of flexibility when you have the
Mhm.
tape. You literally just
Yeah, there'll definitely be tolerance issues and
yeah.
all that.
So tape for the win. Oop, cancel.
And then there was a
Alright.
quick,
more stuff.
while you're still on the subject of the new parts that you're creating, Devin was saying that he was following the 360 tutorials on using the 3D package generator. He wants to make some
Yeah.
3D PCBs for Whippersnapper, but it doesn't work with the free personal version. There's no
Aw.
add-in capability.
Sorry.
Any workarounds for that? Like, can you just download the what is it, F3D file and import that way?
No, I guess it's just the limitation of the free accounts. Yeah, I'm a paid subscriber for Fusion, so it's for work. So that's why I have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can add a parts request to our GitHub repo, That way, you know, I can get to it, and I have been doing them. So if
Oh
you
no, I
have a
think
part
he's
repo,
I think he's trying to import one, but it just doesn't let you.
yeah, man, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's what we're paying for, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the ability to do that. It used to be free, yeah, but yeah. You could try it. I don't personally know how, but there's ways to get a 3D model into out of KiCad maybe. Try out KiCad. There are probably some tutorials out there.
Might be the way to go.
That might be the way to go if you want to give it a shot. You have to do some research though on KiCad.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
There was another board that you were.
Yes. Back over to Fusion. We got that one. Speaking of capacity touch, the boards, the feathers tend to have these stemma ports. It's great. And it's actually micro B USB. The droid I'm working on, I'll have to share it now. I can use USB-C to program my Cricut feather.
I know, it's finally...
But those are the parts. You can go to the GitHub repository to download those things.
I have not been posting links.
It's all right.
No. Every time it's my turn to present stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
I'm always lacking in that.
I gotcha. Here's the link to the CAD parts. Again, you can add in the Issues tab, you can submit part requests as well. All right. I'm ready to move on to the next topic.
There is a quick comment or workaround that Paul Eric on YouTube chat was saying about the PCB importing. He created a RP2040 with a GC screen PCB in Illustrator and then rebuilt them inside of Tinkercad.
Yeah, that's a good thing too. You could get a DXF out of Eagle and then bring that DFX into Fusion and then just extrude that and rebuild it that way. I actually started that way before there was the integration for Fusion and Eagle. That's actually how I built the boards. It's a little tedious, takes time, but it's one of the ways to do it. Yeah, for sure. There's always workarounds. If you can get, like some sort of file format out, you can always do something with that. And yeah. All right, you ready for Community Makes?
Yeah, let's check them out.
All right, so this week's
Tuesday.
Every Tuesday we find something. We 3D print it, we do time lapse. This week is the Epic prop designed by Peter Beard. This is the Stormbreaker from the Marvel movies. Thor.
I think this one's from Avengers.
What did I say?
Was it Infinity War? It's all the Thors. You didn't say anything wrong, but I think this one was modeled when Infinity.
Wrong.
No, it's
I know,
correct. It's all the Thor movies, but I think it started in Avengers Infinity War, right? When
I don't know, man.
He forged it, and Groot's like acting like
don't spoil it.
I'm not doing anything. Then he sees Thor dying. He's like, "Well, I better help. Let me make my arm part of the forged." Brand
so
new.
this was scaled down, again designed by Peter Beard.
Yeah, this is 50% scaled because I didn't want to make such a giant freaking. This looks like a normal
It's a kid
axe.
size.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to be seeing these at Spirit Halloween stores for the
maybe.
kids.
We were seeing when we were picking up the action figures. They have just the regular one, and it does not look like this. I mean, look at the detail.
Yeah, it's great.
Able to get on all this.
Design.
What camera am I on?
No post processing as well. This is just straight up filament. That looks great.
This is dark wood PLA from Hatchbox.
Right, that same stuff you use for the Groot.
Yeah, excellent detail on all this. I didn't glue this part yet, so this actually comes off.
Yeah, let's go underhead.
I don't know if I want to take it off because I'm scared it's going to break the little nub ends off. But yeah, this comes off. All these parts
How about I share the website?
Glue together. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can print the entire thing as one piece. Okay. Excellent detail on the hammer there. And you got some lettering on there. Wording. You got the just really good detail in terms of the way this was sculpted and modeled. You can print this is all in several pieces, but you can print it as one big print. And I forgot I guess the other part fell off here.
It's supposed to be like a cap. But good stuff.
I like how this isn't like sharp or anything.
No, this is designed for play.
Play, yeah.
Kind of.
With sort of.
So let's look at the website. It's on Thingiverse. Peter, Thingiverse user Mag Nevis posted this up. Here are some images of the parts. It seems to have like a center hole for like a metal rod for support.
Yeah.
But these are Epic And
Look at that post-processing.
yeah,
Holy moly.
Yeah,
That looks
it's
fantastic.
like it's been through war.
Jeez.
Some sort of affinity war. Looking at the makes, folks are making it.
Ooh, the thing is
boy, are they making
so cool. I love the
big one.
what's his name?
Kinda-
Lebowski, yeah.
Lebowski Thor.
That is, look how big it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, you could barely wrap your hand around it. That's how thick the damn trunk is.
Well, it's supposed to be his Groot's arm.
Right. Big boy. Yeah, so check it out if you're into this.
It's so cool.
It's
This
fantastic
is
model.
yeah.
We had so much fun playing with it.
Yeah, when you're walking through the toy aisle and you see what, they offer as a toy and then what you can make at home. Yeah. Holy crap. And it's so cool because the kids see that all the time,
Yeah, and sometimes it's better to make it at home.
Mm-hmm. Or, like we were talking about with that Lola bot or any of these things, we have them months before they're even able to mass produce them.
There's some extra detailing to it.
Wow.
Put it on your wall.
Ah,
very cool, very
look
cool.
how
So check that out.
giant.
Huge shout out to Peter for dropping the goods. Fantastic model.
Excellent. I just can't get over how freaking
That's
cool
great.
this thing is.
Yeah. Did you put any? You put like barbecue skewers
Just to line up, yeah. No, they're
And then
it's for crafting. Those little sticks that you use for crafting is what's
Crafting
in the
sticks?
center of there, and that was just to center it to get this to line.
Mhm.
I used super glue, and then what's that spray called? The activator. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's it. Just line them up, stick them together, or like we were saying before, just print it all as one ginormous piece.
Okay, we're over time
Cool.
now. Doing some community makes. We got some makes here. The D20 got a make by Jordan Draco.
Oh, that's cool.
They made it as a
Ha!
little add-on to their ender.
What
It
a-
kind of shows the thing extruding.
Oh, great
That's kinda
idea.
neat. And then we have another one here. This is a make posted up by Spieker. Posted up their
Hey.
make of our heat set insert press rig, heat set rig. So if you're looking for a way to make a bunch of heat set inserts and you want them to be perfectly perpendicular, you can use some 3D parts and a piece of aluminum extrusion and some ball bearings to make a really nice rig for doing heat set inserts. And they did a fantastic job putting it together. So shout out to you, Spieker, for posting their make of our little rig. I still use it. I actually use it on the droid. And then the last one that came in this week is a make of our Kingdom key, yet another keyblade. Both this up. No electronics, just some nice snap fit, screw together parts. And BK Nico posted up. They say, printed it at 65% for the kid.
How
Had a little
cool.
shift in the print, but my kid loved it.
How
How about
cool.
that? More props for
Oh,
you.
how
Where's that
nice.
shift? You see the shift?
How freaking
I
cool.
don't see a shift. Maybe there. Maybe there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Spot
yeah.
the shift. Come on, everybody. No, just kidding. The kid loved it. It's great. I love it too. It's a very fun thing. I made a small one for my kid. Or not my kid, but Peter's kid. My nephew. You can make a big one if you are a kid at heart. Yeah. Look at that detail. Phenomenal. All right, and that's this week's Community Makes. Thank you, everybody, for submitting your makes.
Very cool. Paul
Appreciate
Eric
all of
on the YouTube chat is saying that we should make some PLA slurry to fill in all the gaps. That's an
Yeah, that's a
excellent
good
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that would have been nice, huh?
What about, like, the printing pen? Would that help too?
The slurry, it's because, it's
Oh, you can
sort of
paint it
liquid.
on.
Yeah, you can paint that on.
Yeah, and it adds, like, it's almost like Mod Podge.
Mm-hmm. And it would, like, sort of, you can
That's what
brush it on,
Mod
like, the
Podge.
detail for it. I think
Yeah.
that would match
Okay.
and hide that a lot more better
Mm.
for all those segment lines.
Slurry. Cool. Well, great comments.
All the good banter was on YouTube chat.
Really? What happened?
I don't
What
know.
happened, Discord?
There's some good stuff
Sorry.
on Discord. There is like a lot of
Yeah.
tips and tricks.
It's summertime. People are, having
YouTubes.
time.
Shout outs to Eric and I'm sorry, Aaron and Paul for all the
Thank you, Aaron
really
and
good
Paul.
insight and input.
Yeah, you folks make the show more
Mhm.
engaging and fun. All right, well, tonight we have Show and Tell hosted by Lamar and Phil. So come and join us at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, around 7:20. We'll post a StreamYard link in the Discord server so you can join and be a part of the show. All's fair game, retro tech, ideas,
Workshop tours.
workshop tours. We love all that stuff. It's great to see folks.
All the work that's in progress. We always love seeing that.
Yeah. Arts and crafts. So that's show and tell tonight. And then Ask an Engineer starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to get your carts ready and get that 10% coupon code. It's only good for tonight. Tomorrow is John Park's Workshop every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Fridays, we have a deep dive with Tim, a.k.a. Foamy Guy, at 2 p.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. Eastern. And then on the weekends, Lady Ada is doing up her show with From the Desk of Lady Ada. Sometimes it starts around 9 p.m., sometimes earlier, but you can tune in when they go live on Sundays. Mondays, we have the CircuitPython meeting. If you'd like to tune in live during the CircuitPython meeting, you can listen in every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can check out the archive on any of the fine podcasting services. And then Tuesdays is John Park's Product Pick of the Week. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, you can get up to 50% off select items. This week's item was a Minty Boost. Classic Minty Boost.
That was cool.
You
Seeing
gotta-
some of that old footage with
Some
Lamar.
old footage of Lamar, pre-pink hair Lamar. You got to tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Shout out to JP for doing it up. We do this show on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or whatever time Pacific. It's like 7 a.m. Pacific time.
Too
Sorry,
early, sorry.
we're very tired.
Oh, it's lunchtime now. Looks like they just pulled up with some chickens.
Okay. Well, thank you folks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Later
See you
tonight, actually.
as well on this show and tell.
And with all that
Until next week,
said,
though, remember to make
make a
fun,
great day.
Great day.
See you tonight.
Adios, folks. Woo.